I think I'm a Ted from How I Met Your Mother because I'm a hopeless romantic. I think everybody deserves to find their true love. I think everybody should be loved. And more than just that, like, just be happy.
Hi, and welcome to Inside Rise4, where we honor the amazing humans behind our mission and gently ruin their day by making them feel as awkward as possible. So on today's episode, we have Lesly Sandoval. Yeah, take it in. Take it in. Look, we didn't know what to do with the hair, if we should cut it right here, if we should have it go down, but if I put it over my shoulders, it looks a little bit better. So Lesly has been in the mental health field for over 12 years. She originally met Rise4's co-founder, Justin Gamble, back in 2019, where she started with him as a TMS technician. Today, she is the director of our intake program, which is a team of highly specialized experts that field all inquiries. They pre-screen every patient. They perform all VOBs, and they book highly qualified TMS and Spravato evaluations. And somehow she agreed to be here today. Thank you, Lesly.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited to get to spend some time with you guys just talking.
Yeah, so now let me go ahead and tell you how the show works. So every episode, we honor the amazing people behind the Rise4 mission, people who are pushing access to life-changing mental health treatments, building solutions, working with clinics, and making real impact. But there's a twist. Before every interview, our producer and chief marketing officer, Aubrey, she gives me a secret challenge, which I must complete during the course of the conversation. Now, I will know what the challenge is. You, the audience, will know what the challenge is. But our guest, in this case, Lesly, will have absolutely no idea.
That sounds so fun.
So with that said, let's see what Aubrey's secret challenge is. I have not seen this, by the way. I have not seen this. We found a way to finagle it to where I don't see these beforehand. So that's good. Okay, awesome. All right, so Lesly, you've worked in TMS clinics for over 12 years and you've received TMS yourself. And now you lead our entire intake team. So how has seeing this from every single angle shaped the way that you train your care coordinators today?
For me, my biggest issue was anxiety. And so sitting in a conversation, I want to make sure that the care coordinators have empathy. That they're listening to what the patient is saying, because I was that person who came in, and even when somebody was explaining a treatment, I wanted to make sure that it was said in a way that eased that anxiety, because hearing somebody say, 36 sessions every single day and stimulate your brain, that can cause anxiety too. Then you have somebody who has depression, and what happens is that's a commitment, right? Getting out of bed is difficult. So being able to feel heard, being able to feel seen, I think that's so important. And then being able to be a treater, I was able to see, when people actually got in the door, making sure that we set that tone. Setting the tone is so important, because the first person you communicate with is going to be the expectation for the rest of your journey.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important note too, is that even with our hiring, we're only hiring people who have experienced, treating patients with these treatments. So they're like hardcore believers in this treatment.
Of course. Yeah. And even as a treater, I was a treater before I was a patient, and you see the change in people and you see it work, that it's just so easy to now go from being in a treating setting to being that first point of contact, because you know the life impact that this treatment is going to have. So that first initial call, when somebody calls in their depressed state or their lowest point, you know exactly what the outcome can look like.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because honestly, it kind of requires a belief in the treatment in order to be successful. With TMS, Spravato, IV ketamine treatment, any of these can be a little scary, especially with mental health being so stigmatized too. So believing in it feels like that's where we've seen the most success. Now, you started with Rise4 co-founder Justin before Rise4 even existed in 2019. Can you describe what your job was like then compared to now?
Yeah, so as a TMS coordinator, I was still first point of contact in a way, because my role was to coordinate care. So that meant I was going to talk to patients, explain what the treatment was, how it works, why it works. gather all of the information needed for that prior authorization, make sure that I was able to help them then set up that appointment, get them scheduled, and then sit with them through their treatments, which I absolutely loved. And now I'm just kind of in the back scene, making sure that the team, that our intake team provides that kind of care, that our intake team now helps the patients, guides them, answers their questions, relieves some of their anxieties and doubts, and help them get the care that they need at one of many clinics that we service, which is also really rewarding because going from a care coordinator, I was responsible for one provider for one location for a handful of patients, and now my role really is to ensure that we give this great quality of care to patients across the country in numerous different locations. It's both of them are very rewarding, but very rewarding in different ways. And being a director, overseeing so many different clinics and impacting so many more lives is just, I don't think I even have words for how rewarding that feels.
Yeah, it's amazing the work that you're doing, and reminding yourself too, like looking at the numbers of how many people are learning about this treatment, how many people are actually inquiring about this treatment, how many people are going through the process and eventually starting this treatment because of your team. So, and really the whole team at Rise4. So definitely you should feel super validated for your journey so far and your impact. So you've talked to and you've heard calls, from thousands of patients at this point. What is something that most clinics don't realize about the patient experience during the intake process?
A lot of clinics, while what they do on a day-to-day is huge, right? They're helping people with many different diagnoses and issues. But I think just from like the intake perspective, something that I don't think clinics realize is how much people just want a conversation sometimes. Because while yes, our job is just to get the information that we need to be able to screen the patient, make sure that they qualify for A, B, or C treatment or simple medication management, simple therapy. I don't think that it's realistic to think that we can just get on a call and say, tell me every single thing about your past medical history. Sometimes people just need somebody to listen. That's the biggest part, the value that our team and that our care coordinators and our patient advocates bring is that they are not only assisting the client, but we're also listening to their patients, and we're listening and we're at the same time guiding them through to get the service that they're looking for. But it's just being able to listen, be compassionate. I understand we're busy, we're all busy, right? If I can take a 5-minute phone call versus a 25-minute phone call, of course I'll take the 5-minute phone call any day. But sometimes that extra 10-15 minutes of somebody being able to vent and you saying like, I validate you, I understand what you're going through, and that's why we're here. That's why our provider is here. That's why our the owner created this space, because we want to help people like you. And sometimes it's like, okay, let's just get people in. Sometimes it takes nurturing, and that's what my team does. We nurture people, we listen to them, we give them the space to vent, and we try to gather as much information through that venting process. But it's not as simple as just give me all your information. It takes a lot more listening and empathy.
But yeah, it seems like the conversation obviously always goes back there, that this is one of the biggest needs in mental health, which is just an understanding of the patient experience, which is really what our company is all about. I love that you're addressing that, you're talking about it. Clinics that have focused on patient experience are the ones that thrive. They're the ones that do the absolute best. So anyway, I could talk about that for a long time, but I want to pivot the conversation actually a little bit and make it a little fun. So you play pickleball, from what you told us. Every Tuesday and sometimes Thursday. How serious are we talking here? Casual, competitive, or secretly training for a tournament?
No, it's very casual. Although I do have to say, the people I play with, they're probably thinking they're training for some kind of tournament that I don't think they'll ever make it to, if I'm being
Wow. Are
honest.
they pretty are they pretty upset whenever you smack them down every time?
Okay, I'm not that great, sadly. Yeah, I'm not that great yet. I still have a lot of work, so it's very casual for now.
Okay, okay. Hey, for now, you never know
For
what the
now.
future may bring. So I read that pickleball injuries are now one of the top reasons people end up in the ER. Kind of
Oh, wow.
interesting fact. Um, have you or anyone you know ever been taken out by a pickleball yet?
No, but I did get a pickleball injury, which I didn't have to go to the ER, which I guess
Thank
that's a good
goodness.
thing. But
Yeah.
I had a pickleball injury. I went to hit the ball and my shoulder didn't want to cooperate. So I injured my shoulder. It's better now. I don't think it was anything too serious, but yeah, I can now say I got a sports injury.
Wow.
I could have gone pro if my
I think really what this comes down to is stretching. Hey, we're all guilty, right? We're just casual and, I'm the worst at stretching, believe me. All right. So another thing that you told us was that you rewatched The Office, Parks and Rec, and How I Met Your Mother on repeat. I've seen the first two. Which character from any of those shows are you most like? And which character would absolutely drive you insane in real life?
I think I'm a Ted from How I Met Your Mother because I'm a hopeless romantic. I think everybody deserves to find their true love. I think everybody should be loved. And more than just that, like just be happy. I really see myself as a Ted.
Aw.
And who would drive me absolutely insane? I think if I had a boss like Michael Scott.
Wait, are you saying I'm not like Michael Scott? Because
I was gonna say,
the
now
first-
you
I
have
think
to
you're the
say
only
which character
person-
Jake is.
yeah, if I'm not
Okay.
Michael Scott, that's surprising. No, I'm just kidding.
No, well, okay. Well, I think Michael just wants to early seasons, right? He develops into this character that maybe that is the character you are, Jake. You're the later seasons Michael Scott.
So
where-
I feel like I'm mostly like the Parks and Rec lead character.
no,
What's her-
100%
what's
you're a
her name?
Leslie. You're a Leslie.
Which one's Leslie?
Leslie Nope. Leslie Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. So she's
You're-
the lead, right? It's her,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. I
No,
feel like
no.
I'm definitely her. Yeah. So let me get back to this, which is you shared that Rise4's mission means so much to you. Those that don't know, Rise4's mission is to empower mental health clinics to improve the patient experience and make life-changing treatments more accessible. But you said that the mission means so much to you because you've seen mental health struggle impact your own family. So how does that show up in the way that you talk to patients and lead your team?
I want every single call, when it ends, there's some kind of solution or plan because I want people to be treated just like I'd want my family members to be treated when they were seeking help. That's why this is so important to me because I was the daughter of somebody who needed help. I've been the friend of someone who needs help and support. And if they ever came to me and told me they had a bad experience on a phone call, while actively seeking for mental health support, I would be baffled because that's not what I want us. That's not the kind of the quality. And I don't even want to say service because to me, I don't want it to be seen as a service. We're impacting people because it's our passion, because it's what we love. And so I just want everybody to get on a call, reach somebody from my team and find the help that they're looking for.
I love that. Well, we can clearly see your heart, Leslie. And so I really appreciate that you said that. Thank you for sharing. So Spanish was your first language. Is there a word or phrase in Spanish that you say all the time that just doesn't hit the same in English?
Ooh, there's a lot. I don't think they're very appropriate for this.
Try me, try.
Something I say a lot is, and it's so simple, it's ochetos. And I don't think you could say, oh, Cheetos. And I don't think it's going to hit the same.
Do I dare ask what that means or like even roughly?
It's just like oh no.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the nice.
That's a nice way.
That's
Okay.
the nice way.
I'm gonna have to incorporate that. That's a really ochetos.
Yes.
I'll have to incorporate that. Sammy's gonna be like, what? What'd you say? She says, "Oh, joda," which is "oh God," or and Aussie. Let's talk about your family's farm in Mexico. You love spending time over there in Mexico. What's your favorite part about being there?
Ooh, my favorite part is just honestly working outdoors and being able to see the chickens running around and seeing the horses in the stable. And where my grandparents live, you can actually see the Popocatépetl volcano in the background. That just gives me such peace to be able to work outdoors. And I love being outdoors. And honestly, I think we spend more time outdoors there than we do inside. So just being able to get some vitamin D and fresh air, that's my favorite part.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so amazing. And I love like the community out there too, from what you've described. It's like a totally different world. As director of intake, you have a unique perspective. You can perhaps guide our non-intake clients, the clinics that are managing intake processes themselves. So for those clinics, what's the most common mistake that they make before a patient ever gets scheduled?
That's a really good question. It's going to be how long it takes them to reach out to a patient. I think the very first most common mistake that we're seeing, or not mistake, issue, I should say, because it can be corrected. But I really do think it's how quickly they're reaching back out to a patient. You have to keep in mind that we're in a field where people need support at the time that they're searching. So if they fill out an inquiry, if they find you on Google and call your office and they just leave a voicemail and you say, okay, well, the team will get back to you in the next 24 to 48 hours. Those 24 to 48 hours are so crucial because at that point, that person could have, one, and most commonly, gone to a different place where they answer the call, where they help them, where they move them forward. And two, at that time, it's been 24 hours. It's a new day. I woke up. I don't think I need the treatment anymore. I don't think I need the help. So now you've lost that patient and that patient has lost out on the help that they really need or require. So I think that's the biggest one, and I think the most important one.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and we're going to move into a pop quiz. Now, the pop quiz, obviously you haven't been prepared with any of these questions. We forgot to prepare you with the other questions too, but these are supposed to be quicker, rapid fire sort of questions. So just answer what comes to the top of your mind right away. None of them are very difficult. So first question, describe one funny fact about your husband, Miguelito, and your dog, Bonnie.
The fact that I work from home, I spend all day with Bonnie, and she doesn't bark, she doesn't whine. She's the perfect little quiet dog for somebody who works from home. And the second Miguel gets home, she turns into an actual baby. She cries, she whines, she barks, and it's all just to get his attention. So we know who the favorite parent is. Miguel will actually greet her before he greets me sometimes. Because she goes crazy to get his attention. I'm not wagging my tail when he comes home, so I think it's fair that he gives her some attention.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Let me ask you next one. Sorry. That was a big sip there. Best moment from our last team trip in Denver. What's the first thing that pops into your head?
Ooh, that baseball game. It was amazing. Yeah, Miguel loves baseball. So I learned to love baseball because of him. And now I'm a fan. And we had amazing seats. We were all hanging out. Yeah, the best time.
If you weren't in the mental health field, what job would you be doing?
I would be an actress.
No way.
Yeah, actually.
Awesome.
I don't think I've ever talked about this, but I did theater in high school. Yeah, I really enjoyed acting when I was younger.
Okay, well, that concludes the pop quiz. And now we have to ask you, Leslie, do you know what Aubrey's secret challenge was?
Yes, I do. It was those sips of water you were taking, Jake.
Nice. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, so that was a good one, Aubrey. I thought that one was hilarious. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Leslie, for joining us today. And thank you all for watching and getting to know the amazing human beings behind our mission. This is Inside Rise4, where we're changing mental health one awkward interview at a time. Thanks.